Good morning, Force followers. How are you today? Happy Thursday. My name is Brittany Arduini, and I go live every week. I am the director of Houston Force Volleyball Club, and this is Force TV. So today we're going to talk about official visits versus unofficial visits for college recruiting. Um, for the unofficial visit, we not we, sorry, the colleges ask the athlete to come to the school to learn learn about the university, learn about the program, show them around, everything that you would think of if you were just going on a college visit, except with a little bit more emphasis in the volleyball program. So, an unofficial visit is an unpaid visit to the university to meet the volleyball program. And the official visit is a paid trip to the university to visit the volleyball program and see the school. Official visits are only allowed to happen when you're a senior in high school, and you are allowed 5 different official visits. So you can go to 5 universities and during your senior year on an official visit. Now, if you're being recruited by a bunch of colleges, then you really have to start to pay attention to where you want to go and if you want it to be an official visit versus an unofficial visit. So, if you're being recruited by a lot of out of state schools in your senior year, you probably want to use your official visits on those schools. And I say that because they will pay for your travel to and from the school, for your stay at the school, and anything while you're there. So, like, they are allowed to pay for 3 meals, they're allowed to pay for you to go to sporting events, and then your travel. So, if you're going to be traveling out of state, then they're going to potentially pay for your plane flight and your hotel. And if you have to rent a car, they'll give you a car. Um, but most of the time, they kind of cater to you when you're there. And so they pick you up from the airport, they bring you back to campus, they give you tours, they ask you, they've kind of pre set up everything before you arrive. And they might introduce you to the dean of the college that you want to get your major in. Or if you want to be a specific major, they're going to introduce you to the best professor in that major. They're going to let you watch a practice. They're going to tour you through the school. They're going to buy you lunch on campus. They're going to kind of make it feel like you are a student athlete at their university. They're going to potentially wine and dine you. They really do want you to go to their school, so they're going to take good care of you. And then I always remember during official and unofficial visits, we as the athletes used to take the student athlete and do things by ourselves. So the parents would stay with the coaches. They might go do tour something that the parents might be more involved in or want to know more about where the player doesn't really care. And then the athletes take the athlete and they go do more student-like stuff. They might take them to the library and show them where they get their books every year, or they might take them to their favorite dining hall and let them have lunch by themselves. They might take them to their dorm. So I remember, I don't know if they do this much anymore, but at least when I was an athlete, the athlete always stayed in the dorm with us during their official visits, because so that they could see what it was like to be a student athlete and what it was like to sleep in a twin bed and have teammates and roommates and share a bathroom and know what all of that is like. We did have athletes across my time that didn't want to do that, and that's okay. They stayed with their parents in the hotel, but I think it was a good experience, at least as an athlete when I was being recruited, to stay with the people that you would be playing with. So that's an official visit. They're going to pay for everything to bring you into their university, and you are allowed 5 of those in your senior year. You are only allowed to go to each school that you go to one time for an official visit. So if you are being recruited by Texas State, Sam Houston, Stephen F. Austin, and Corpus Christi, you can't go twice to any of those schools. Now, when you're a freshman, sophomore, or junior, you can do an unofficial visit, and that is more, I don't want to say like lax, but it's not, they still take you around the school. They might introduce you to the right people. It depends on if you're willing to stay a day or 2 days that, you sleep with the athletes or stay with them in the dorm. I remember on my unofficial visit, we went on a weekend and there was a football game. And so we got to go to a football game with the athletes, with the coaches. We woke up in the morning and went to their practice because it was during the spring. And so we went to their practice early in the morning. We went to their weight training session. We sat down with the coaches and had a meeting. They also took me around and introduced me to certain people on campus regarding the major that I thought I would be doing at that time. And so I got to meet them and ask them questions and figure out what, what it was that I liked about that program for graduation or for my major. It's very good advice, and I've heard this from multiple people. I've read it online, and I kind of give the same information, but don't always just pick a school for the volleyball program. Obviously, you want to pick a school because you like the volleyball program and you like the coaches and you like the girls, but what happens if you just don't play volleyball anymore? Are you the extra activities that you want? Um, I think my AirPods just went out. So there they go. So pay attention to those things, like actually give some input into what the major is that you want. What is, do you like the dorms? Do you like the food? Is the walk across campus just too long for you? Do they have a bus system? Like, can you ride your bike? Can you take a car? These are all kinds of things to talk about when you're on those officials and unofficial visits. And again, it comes down to when you're being recruited. So I never went on an official visit, and I mean, I did, but I was already committed to Texas State. So I took a lot of unofficial visits and I met coaches and I met the program. And most of them were 1 day things where you kind of showed up in the morning, you went on a tour, you sat down, had a meeting, you met the team, you probably watched a practice, and then you were done. And so it depends on their interest level in you and your interest level in them, and whether, you know, it's a little bit more in depth, or is it more just kind of a meet and greet and have a conversation kind of meeting or tour. I remember going to the University of Arizona while we were at a tournament in Phoenix, and it was just that. We showed up in the morning, we met the coach, we had a meeting with him, we watched a practice, and then that was it. But that was our unofficial visit, and we set it up and were able to do that. So if you ever have an opportunity to go and meet the coach, do it. Like, I can set that up for you. We can coordinate that. Sorry, I just saw Bo. And so we can set that up for you. And then also know that if you're already into your senior year and you aren't recruited yet, you haven't committed, that we can get you some of those official visits. Though what I was saying, when you only get 5 official visits, that's in the D1 sector of volleyball. I went to clarify, and then D2, you have unlimited official visits your senior year. But again, you can only go to 1 per school. So I feel like I'm a little all over the place. I do apologize. I'm still trying to figure out Bo's sleeping schedule. We are not on the same page. um, so just know that, again, I was sorry I was late too, but that was another reason. So official visits are senior year, paid for trips to the school, see the volleyball program, to see the school, to learn everything you can possibly to learn about that university so that you can make an informed decision on if that is where you want to go if you're offered a scholarship. Unofficial visits are, you can do them anytime prior to your senior year. You can even do them in your senior year if you, like I said, if you want to use your official visits maybe to go out of state, and use unofficial visits to be in state. But they are unpaid. The only thing that they can kind of give you or do for you while you're there is maybe take you to an athletic event. So if you go during basketball season, they can pay. they can get you into the event. Or if you go during football season, they can get you into the football game. So that's the big difference between the two. So Bo says hello. Look, who's that? Hi. And that's all I got about that. If you have any questions about official or unofficial visits, please don't hesitate to ask. If you need me to set something up for you because you've been in contact with somebody, reach out and let me know. If you want more information on how to get something scheduled or how to reach out to somebody, I've talked about that in previous videos, but we can definitely address it. Whew. All right. Good luck to my 17th team this weekend in San Antonio. Good luck to our 14th teams this weekend in the Houston Power League. I will see you next week. I plan on talking about the NCAA clearinghouse and why it's so important to, one, know what it is and get your child registered in the clearinghouse if you want to be recruited. And I will see you next week. Next week should be episode 7. I think this was episode 6. Took some weeks off, and I'm so glad to be back. And I thank you guys for being here live with me today, and I will see you next week. All right, bye.